Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, welcome to another fantastic episode of Shadowrunnin On Empty, where we try our best to fill your noggins with that sweet, sweet Shadowrun lore. We have a full house once again this evening. As always, the immaculate Tyler joining us. How you doing this evening, Tyler?
Wow, immaculate. Oh, buy me dinner. I can't get over boys and ghouls. I'm gonna expect something like that every week now, and I'm pretty sure the audience will as well. With that being said, I may be immaculate, but we would not be here were it not for our splendiferous, resplendent, exuberant GM. So easy mode. How's it going, man?
Splendiferous Finch.
Perfect.
Thank
Perfect
you.
show.
I felt I had to open that way.
And follow your heart.
I was. You were just setting me up. I had to
Beautiful.
come in with it.
All right, so that's a podcast now.
All right, good job,
next
everybody.
week, guys. Good to see you. Let's call it early.
Everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell's a splendiferous finch?" Nothing was said. I'm so confused.
Well, that's up to them to figure out.
I know. Yeah. Easter egg for you. Just search the internet, find it. Let us know if you found it.
We have some ARGs out there. You just don't know it.
Yeah. They're so well integrated, even we don't know that they exist.
That's how deep in the shadows we are. Well, I've got a great piece of lore to dive in for you guys today. How excited are you to talk about nanotech?
Whee! Out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10. Scale 1 to 10. Go ahead.
I did.
He's a wee out of 10. Yeah.
A wee out of 10.
A wee out of 10.
Austin, what are you out of 10?
Probably like a solid 6. Just to get us started. You know,
okay.
I want to keep it a little reined in for now until we see
fair.
what's going on.
Sorry, I want to give a concrete value, being I'm scared of our AI overlords. All hell our AI overlords out of 10.
In case they're listening right now.
And they are.
Yes, good call. To all our future AI overlords, remember, we support you. All right, now that I know that I'm going to be eating good in the AI apocalypse.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
Now we're building a giant death ray to attack a planet I've never even heard of. Totally got that reference. Sure, throw your vote away. Oh man, yeah, if you guys caught that Easter egg, let us know. So, nanotech, let's start with your nanotechnology 101. In the simplest of terms, nanotechnology is the science of constructing machines on a near molecular or cellular scale to be used in rearranging molecules.
So far, so good. I'm with you.
Nanotechnology relies on its parent sciences of chemistry, physics, biology, engineering, and microelectronics.
Okay, standard fare so far, so good. Nothing,
right?
Nothing
it's all
apocalyptic
normal.
is happening.
It's all normal.
Or will happen. Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that. This gives rise to nanotechnology's inferiority complex, since it is usually seen as a subsidiary to the broader primary sciences. It's its own niche science. Nanotechnology includes the manufacture of optical chips, the installation of neural cyberware, and the building of precision machinery, each central to the corporate-dominated world. Really, without nanotechnology, you would not have some of the cyberware. Well, you wouldn't have any of the cyberware that we get to experience in the sixth world, as without really knowing or understanding it, a lot of that cyberware does incorporate a little bit of nanotechnology to be able to connect to your nervous system.
which I think, like, besides in our season 1, did Otto have tech?
No, because he was a mage.
Yes.
Okay.
Mages don't take
So
tech.
Otto, Loki, and Amazing, none of them had it.
No.
Ah,
No
Loki,
tech. Tech bad for
Loki
mages.
was Loki technically a mage?
He was technically an adept.
An adept, right? Because he had face sculpting and whatnot.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So in the sixth world, nanotechnology is used kind of on the back burner for a while, just helping to get cyberware and some other neuro included cyberware that links to your brain up and running correctly. Nanotechnology gets a boom of exponential growth thanks to the arcology. And we're talking about the Renraku arcology that is in Seattle.
where everything's fine. Don't look into it.
That was taken over by the rogue AI Deus, and he turned it into his lovely little playground of oddities.
I love to describe my home as a playground of oddities.
Well, when you're a rogue AI, you can describe it however you want.
That's how I describe Tyler's bedroom.
Truly, truly.
Wow.
Welcome to my playground of oddities.
Wait, where are you going? Come back.
Come back, please. I didn't even pull out the handcuffs yet.
They're for me.
Not for you.
More fun for me, I guess.
And there we are, Shadowrun After Dark.
How long did it take us?
I'm not even timing us anymore.
I
am. So with this rush, it was a scramble to acquire the revolutionary technologies developed by Deus. Unlike the scientific community, Deus had no preconceptions of the world in which it found itself. Due to its constant access to the Matrix, its intimate understanding of its own construction, and its ability to think in decidedly un-metahuman ways, Deus raised the bar on nanotech. He was taking the limits of nanotechnology to wild and unpredictable heights. While metahuman scientists would have eventually duplicated what Deus was able to achieve, it would not have happened so rapidly.
So technological advances are due to AI overlords?
In this instance, yes, the leap forward in nanotechnology is thanks to a rogue AI that was playing mad scientist in the arcology shutdown with no kind of ethical restrictions. Take that with it what you will. One of the problems with nanotechnology is that it remains a very resource intensive and competitive field. It takes a lot to make those super duper small chips. Design, testing, and construction of nanites require nearly limitless resources, both financial and personal. And a large corporate or governmental research system of laboratories, institutions, think tanks, or state-of-the-art equipment. Any successful nanite designs are always heavily patented, and intellectual property rights are jealously guarded. Go figure.
Can't imagine why.
But because of that, there's a thriving industry in the shadows to steal and reverse engineer these proprietary nanite systems.
Replicate and innovate.
Hire Shadowrunners.
Steal. Just put on. That's it. That's it.
Each corporation is scrambling to be the first and hopefully only corporation to dominate the nanite industry. And I have the top 3 that are dominating the nanite industry by the 2070s.
Who do we got?
We've got Yamatetsu, the cutting edge of nanotechnology, focusing on implant and cybernetic aspects while forging ahead in all aspects of nanotechnology. Then we've got Shiawase, focusing on commercial application and medical nanotech, currently researching urban renewal nanites I can only imagine that being a very, very bad idea.
What is that even?
You don't want nanite buildings, dude?
No, because I've watched Stargate SG1 and I know what that looks like.
Nothing bad. That's exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, Tyler, if you've never seen Stargate SG1, you can look up the replicators and you can find out why it's a really bad idea.
Because we don't know how to handle our AI overlords.
Basically, think nanite replicating machines that eventually get so complex and so evolved that
Yes.
they create human bodies.
Ah. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. So like replacing people kind of thing, or
Like replacing people.
oh, cool. So just my most irrational fear I have of body snatchers. Cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
Oh, you know what makes it even better? One of the
I don't.
replicators' abilities is
Uh-huh.
because they're made of nanites, they
Mhm.
can shove their hand into your head without damaging you to be able to read your memories.
You can't see it, but I'm like recoiling.
Yeah. People, if you want a scary version of nanites that has been done in a television show, SG1, Stargate SG1.
If you want a scary version of nanites that's done in a movie, watch Iron Man 3.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say upgrade.
Upgrade's not a nanite. Upgrade's an AI program.
Or-
Yeah.
But also, don't watch Iron Man 3. It's a bad movie.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't.
Yeah, don't do
Iron
that to
Man.
yourself.
Iron Man
That's
3
fine.
was
Not very great. It's not,
Hot take.
not super
I
good.
like
Hot
it better
take.
than the second one.
Wow.
That's super.
Wow.
That is lava hot
Molten
take.
hot.
Tyler, let me
Molten
tell
hot.
you why you're wrong, because there's a lot of reasons.
That's what this podcast then becomes. The rest of this episode is why you're wrong about Iron Man 3.
Why you're wrong about Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2. All right. I like it. Let's go.
A
No,
manifesto.
that's fair. That's fair. Listen, Tyler, all I have to say to you is when it comes to Iron Man 3, I've already seen Lethal Weapon 2, so I'm fine.
No, then
The whole
you're
plot.
upset.
The whole plot.
It literally
Joke's on
ends.
you.
It literally ends on a freighter with both of them with guns. It is literally Lethal Weapon 2.
Joke's on you. I'm not cultured, so I haven't seen that.
Well, Lethal Weapon
Got
2
him.
is a better Iron Man 3 then?
It
Is
is
that how that
yes.
works?
Yeah. It is a much better Iron Man 3.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got that right.
Yep. Nope. That's it. You are correct, sir. You are correct.
Okay. Well, that brings us to our number 3 spot somehow. I don't know.
Speaking of 3,
good job. Points for you. In a game where we don't have points and this is the end of a
Teamwork.
game.
the points don't matter.
Doing.
Yeah, we
They
know.
don't.
We know the rules. I used to watch Who's Line. I know the rules.
So number 3, we have good old Renraku.
There we go.
They are playing catch up from the arcology shutdown, and they are focusing more on nanite control systems. Who would have thought that that's would have been their focus after their incident that they had to deal with?
Part 2. Second try.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll stick this time.
You want to control your stuff, right? It's important.
Control your stuff so it doesn't control you.
Oh, Renraku, not a great track record with that.
Until now.
Well, they're working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
The potential power of nanites, while pitched as a tool for the betterment of humanity, also has a dark side, which
never.
Of course not, which Deus eloquently demonstrated. The key to the progress of this technology is always in the 21st century, will be whether nanotechnology's growth can be tied to commercial gain. The megacorporations are waiting eagerly to see their research pay off. So one of the reasons why it's so dark because of Deus is some of the things that he was able to create. One such apparatus that they ran into in the arcology were these things that looked like wasp hives, so they could be built anywhere, right? They're attached anywhere. They're just wasp hives.
Mm-hmm.
And basically those were drone fabrication hives. nano drone fabrication hives, and they would make little wasp drones. And the wasp drones were killbots. They were small enough that they could get through some of the armor plating of security armor where there are creases or folds, so they could get easily to exposed areas. And then they would detonate with the force of a C4 explosive.
Whoo. And how these were just in public?
They were scattered throughout the arcology once the takeover was.
No.
Yeah. So you couldn't even see them coming because it's a little wasp and it just lands on you, and then suddenly your arm is gone.
Assuming you survive.
Assuming you survive. Now,
Wow.
that was just the killbot nanite fabrication factory. There was also the nano swarms themselves that just looked like a fog cloud that were just swirling nanites that would rove through the arcology. And if you walked into it, the nanites would all swirl around you and basically deconstruct you.
Like the piranhas?
Like in did you watch the most recent The Day the Earth Stood Still?
No.
Keanu Reeves one?
The Keanu Reeves one. Yeah, because the robot, the big metallic robot, has all the little nanites coming off of it that were eating everything.
Come on, easy. You have to say his name correctly.
I don't remember.
Klaatu.
Klaatu.
Barata. Okay, then. I'll just be going.
All right, I said it. I'll just be going now.
Oh.
But yeah, you would run into a swarm cloud of nanites, and you would watch as the person just gets liquefied.
Yeah, not fun. Not a good time.
No. Going through the arcology during the time that Deus was in control of it, very scary. Very scary.
Suboptimal at best.
The other part is he was using some of the captive residents of the arcology as test subjects and would perform nanite surgery on them.
Woo.
So he would like find people that didn't have cyberware, and he needed them to have data jacks or something so he could interact with their minds. So basically he would just implant nanites, and they would build a data jack link somewhere in their head that they could jack into. So it was like surgery from the inside out.
Nope. I
like you just grow the data jack instead of it actually being implanted.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I don't think I want any of that.
Isn't nanotechnology amazing?
At the day we're recording this, I went to the dentist today, and I was like, so this is what it's like to just be replaced, like parts of you just gone by machinery. Love that. Love that. So cool. Cool.
Right. So the nano machines in the sixth world are also referred to as nanites, as we have been calling them, or nano drones. I myself am partial to nanite.
Why no love for the drones?
I guess because you can get it confused with the other drones that are readily available in the sixth world. I feel like nanite is its own specific type of thing. Yes, there are nano drones, but at the same time, while we're talking about nanotechnology, a lot of the nanites or nano drones are autonomous.
Okay, so it's just make sure we're not overlapping terms.
Right. I don't want to cause confusion. Theoretically, simple nano machines can be constructed at the atomic scale, only a few dozen nanometers in size. However, early in Shadowrun, and we're talking in 3rd edition, the early 2060s, most nanites in the world are both functionally complex and relatively crude, and are larger by an order of magnitude. Instead of a few dozen nanometers, they're much larger than that. Still on the cellular level, just not the atomic level. Does that make sense? So
it's not a wasp.
Well, wasp would still be on it's bigger than a single cell.
Oh, so okay. I measure things in relation to size of a wasp.
Okay. So The atomic level is smaller than a wasp because we're talking about particles at that point and atoms. That's the atomic level.
Oh, I see.
The nanites that we primarily run into in Shadowrun are usually on the cellular level. So the nanites are big enough to make up the wasp.
Oh, wow. Come for the lore, stay for the science.
That's what this episode is. We're having a science lesson.
Yeah.
Bill Nye the nanite guy.
Nice. Still terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, nanites have always been horrifying in any sci-fi genre, in my opinion. Austin, can you think of another sci-fi setting that has used nanites that's frightening?
I mean, the big giant face made out of nanites at the end of Matrix 3 was pretty cool. If it wasn't for him, we'd still be at war with the machines. So that was pretty all right.
That's true.
That was pretty all right. Outside of that, no, it's usually Nightmare.
Nightmare fuel.
I was gonna say the nanite transformer, huh? That's hip and relevant, right?
There's a nanite.
There was one in a movie that was like a car that like just broke up into like nanobots or something like that, and it would like swirl into a cloud, and then it just transformed from a car to a cloud to a transformer.
Oh, I get you. I mean, you could make the argument that Standalone Complex uses good nanites because theirs are mostly like medical application machines, and they don't really ever do anything evil with them that I remember.
Well, they could.
Well, I mean,
everyone is
everything can, yeah. Everything has the possibility.
But no, I think you're right. They never utilize them in that way.
Yeah,
that we know of.
Well, that's true.
Wake
up.
True. Wake up.
Also, technically,
I like technically,
the health system in Ratchet and Clank is nanites.
Oh, that's true.
So
that's just also a fun game, though.
Well, yeah, but like
we're talking about realistic stuff over here.
But, oh, sorry, my bad. I forgot.
Sorry.
How could I talk about the fictional Lombax non-fiction lore cast?
Wait, what's the thing from Revengeance? Nanomachines, son.
Nanomachines, son. Yeah, well, I mean, the entirety of Revengeance revolves around nanomachines. You know what? I would go so far as to say the major plot of Metal Gear Solid revolves around nanomachines in some way, shape, or form.
Oh God!
So that's like,
oh God, the rabbit holes, they're everywhere.
Some of it's good, and then and then you've got Senator Armstrong. So like, I don't know, man. It's muddy. He's muddy.
A senator. He's looking after.
He is a senator. He's an elected official. I mean, never forget that the villain of Metal Gear Solid 2 is the president of the United States. So
he's the wrong nanomachines.
Who is in fact a clone, right?
Who is in fact a clone? Yes, using nanotechnology. Yes, absolutely.
Man, I'm glad I remember that. For no reason. For literally no reason.
Solidus Snake is his code name.
Yes.
In case you were curious.
Thank you, Metal Gear Solid rabbit hole lore that I once went down.
I never left.
I mean, would you consider unstable molecules to be nanotechnology from Marvel?
Oh, that is a very fine line
between the two.
Yeah, I would say the unstable molecule still resides in the realm of more chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, fair. They could be altered, but I don't. We're talking about things that are still technically built.
Right. Okay, I get you.
I don't know. It's weird how to try to draw a line between the two.
Right.
Because I know that there'll be some people that will argue, well, yeah, it could fit in, and other people that would argue, no, it's its own separate thing.
Right.
It's definitely back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of when it comes to Marvel in general, though. Like, to be fair, a lot of it is, well, it's technically science. I mean,
is it though? Is it?
Yeah, technically.
Technically.
So back to the nanites
Mhm.
in Shadowrun.
Never left.
Specifically, never left. Nanites that are specific to the human body get nicknamed nanoware by street docs and cyber technicians, and are usually about the size of a human red blood cell.
So that back to that microscopic kind of.
Yeah, well, it allows for uncomplicated transport throughout the human body because it can just travel through your bloodstream.
What is the worst that could happen?
Well, someone could hack.
My blood.
Well, I guess technically technomancers could try and hack your blood.
Oh,
That would be the worst thing I could imagine.
yeah, that sounds pretty nightmarish. I'm learning a lot about things I'm afraid of and things I didn't know I was afraid of today. Coming across a lot of truths that I wasn't ready for.
Or if you have the nanites put into your bloodstream to, they're just there to help repair and everything. And every once in a while you go to a cyber doc to have them updated or refreshed.
With
I
my
guess.
firmware.
Yeah, sure.
Did you download your drivers to your blood?
I assume there's a special machine that you would have to run your blood through, but somebody could then hack that and reprogram the nanites to where you get them back into your bloodstream, and then suddenly they just start ripping you apart from the inside out.
I think I'm good with my unhackable blood.
Or
blood.
they could just start building cancer.
Start building cancer.
Yeah, the nanites could just build cancer cells.
And other practical applications of nanites.
And just give you cancer. Well, that's one of the things that
just kill me.
That they're there for is they're put in the bloodstream to help you heal faster in the sixth world. They're there to help cut back the chances of cancer. They'll specifically attack and remove cancer cells. And since they're in your blood, they can go anywhere. That means that now brain cancer can technically be operable if you have nanites.
I mean, that's cool and all, but I'm wondering what are the surface level like pranks you could do? Like, could I hack someone's blood as a prank to make it so I don't know they're gassy or something?
I guess
they have a giggle fit. I don't know.
I'm
trying to think of the most
have
benign
hiccups.
things.
They have hiccups forever.
Hiccups are a nightmare. So maybe. Or it's like I hack someone so that they do the thing that Steve Carell did in Bruce Almighty. It was like blah, 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 whatever they want to talk.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Writing that down for later.
Yeah, of course. So what do they use the nanites for? Nanotechnology is the key that allows flesh and machine to communicate. Without nanotechnology, all but the most basic cyberware would be so large and bulky that it would defeat its purpose, and in many cases would cost more in essence than any being could actually spare to have. In the sixth world, when you're putting cyberware into your characters, you have to sacrifice basically parts of your soul, which is your essence. And so without nanotechnology, even having a cyber arm would take a giant chunk of it.
Of your essence.
Yes.
Okay, not just real estate. Because I was thinking like
to the point of where you'd only be able to have maybe one cyber limb.
Gotcha. What I was thinking of it literally like old 90s servers, but it's your arm and you're like walking around with this huge server arm, But no, you're talking about like you'd only have enough essence for one. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the nanites in cyberware, their only task is to continually maintain the body's neural system so that impulses of flesh and metal do not get rejected by each other.
Oh, so the communication part you were talking about?
Yeah, to your nervous system. Nanites constantly maintain the neural pathways to allow the electrical signals to pass between the body and its cyberware with no delay or impulse rejection.
So this allows have a lot of, like, technical issues if you weren't.
Yeah, if they didn't have nanites,
right? Okay,
you would have a delay. Like you'd want to make a fist to throw a punch, and you think about it, and then there'd be a slight delay as you watch as your hand closes to make the fist, and then your arm goes forward to throw the punch. Maybe even seconds or minutes after you've thought about doing it.
It's like ping, but for your body.
Yes, without nanites, there would be ping for your body.
Oh, I hate that.
Nanites also control the microscopic circuits that form the retinal displays of cyber eyes. They weave and reweave the fibers of synthetic polymers used in dermal sheathing and are used in nearly every kind of modern surgery.
Even on like mages, or do you need a specific kind of?
Possibly, but surgery on the awakened is usually highly specialized. So the use of nanites would actually be more helpful.
For mages or awakened?
Yes, for the awakened.
Because it doesn't actually like take away your essence to have it, or to
Yes.
have them like heal you.
Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, unless you're putting a nanite hive inside your body to be able to do that. We're talking about externally going to a hospital and
Yeah.
using a nanite swarm.
Like I'm thinking like a nanite IV.
Yeah, kind of. And then it would be removed from you. Or they would just be pre-programmed to do the task and then be expelled from your body after the task is completed. Monofilament is also a product of nanotechnology. Originally intended to anchor ultra heavy loads when woven into cables, it has instead become best known for the ultra deadly mono whip.
Oh, is this like related to like the mono sword?
Yeah, the mono edge on the sword is created through the use of nanites.
And remind me again, how does that work?
They're putting a monomolecular edge on the sword so it's always sharp.
Oh, because it's like reshaping itself constantly.
Well, it's supposed to have been the edge is supposed to be thin enough that it can slice between molecules.
Oh no. Okay.
So
I remember now.
that's where you get monomolecular edge, and the way that you get that is through the use and fabrication of nanites building that piece of tech. Obviously, the next biggest place that you see nanites is in the medical field, where its primary application lies. They have it in both medical applications and paramedical fields.
Is in like meta stuff.
Well, para being like the para critters and stuff.
Oh. So like veterinarian.
Yeah, nanotechnology is the silent wonder of the cybernetics and bionics industries and has long been a staple of cyberware installation and implantation procedures. Without nanotechnology, invasive cyberware such as bone lacing, skill wires, dermal plating, and even wired reflexes could never be attempted, mostly because a lot of those are connecting with your nervous system. I mean, other than the bone lacing. The old fashioned way that they have to do it is literally cut open to your bone to cover it in the material, and you would most likely die or bleed out from that. With the use of nanites, they just inject the nanites into your body to have them then go and lace your bones with the particular element that you're doing, either Kevlar, titanium, and the nanites weave that into your bones. Does this help understand some of the cyber pieces that you would add to your characters and how they kind of actually work?
Yeah, that checks out.
It
I mean,
makes
it
me
makes sense as
understand
to
it.
why my character can have bone claw. I mean, it basically gives me I'm like full Wolverine with having bone sprues
Mm-hmm.
because the nanotechnology is what would repair the skin whenever you popped them, unless they're supposed to have like tunneling, but I don't.
You can do it either way, technically.
Either way, okay.
Yeah, you can have it to where they just come out through the skin and they'll puncture through every time, or you can have the tunneling where they'll eject through the tunneling.
Gotcha.
Cybernetics' reliance on nanotechnology is twofold. Nanotech is used for implementation of standalone items of cyberware and for producing the desired effects of other items. Nanotechnology is an absolute necessity for all cybernetic surgery, especially for the installation of bone lacing, balance augmentators, retinal duplication, orthoskin, and dermal sheathing. Yes, orthoskin is being able to change the color of your skin at will.
Oh.
Nanotech connects all cyberware to the neural pathways that go to the brain. In addition, nanites are directly integrated into cyberware devices, including cyber eye accessories, filtration systems, and chemical immunity and chemical analysis tools. In the synthetic skin of a cyber arm, there are microscopic pressure, heat, and cold sensors and monofilament sized wires that detect cuts and abrasions and transmit real pain.
Wait, what do you mean
Uh,
transmit
I mean,
pain?
could you get them without that? Because
Yeah.
that seems
Yeah,
bad.
you could, but then your synthetic cyber arm, you would never know if you had cut or burnt or had
Man,
reached into something cold.
the number of times that I put my cyber hand down on the stove and just don't even realize it.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I've definitely done that. I'm like, huh, that's weird. Oh no.
I smell bacon. Anybody else smell bacon?
But yeah, if you want the more realistic feel, it would have those fake wired nerves to still mimic those senses so you could still react to it.
So
Otherwise,
it's like a Vocaloid for pain.
well, yeah, you want it to be real, right?
Well, maybe.
Well, the other thing too is that's going to also facilitate touch. Otherwise, your cyber arm you would feel nothing from. So you would actually want it to have those wires so that your cyber hand or cyber arm could be more dexterous if you think about it.
Okay, because you have more control because you can feel it.
Yeah, how many things are you going to have more control over based off of tactile feel? See, there are reasons for these things. The continuing progress in nanotechnology in the medical field has created a medical renaissance. Nanotechnology has permitted revolutionary bladeless surgery. It has made medical monitoring and reporting far simpler and expanded the range of monitorable medical data. Targeted nanites permit rapid healing of wounds that seem near miraculous. Nanite sutures, pain suppression systems, coagulants, and other medical nanoware are transforming the face of controlled post-surgical operations and emergency accident response treatments. On high-end dockwagon contracts, they'll probably have a nanite surgery suite in their vehicle.
Efficient. I imagine it takes up less space. Like, is there a storage container for nanites?
Technically, it only needs to be the size of like, I guess a Mr. Coffee.
What? Wow, what a specific, but yes.
What a specific but easily recognizable reference.
And you just like pop a can open of nanites, or because in my head I'm like, is it an IV? Is it a
You put a K cup of nanites in, it gets it ready for you.
Sorry, I gotta warm. Oh, I forgot to pour in some water. Let me just nanites won't wake up.
I imagine it's an IV hookup. Yes.
Okay.
In some corporate jurisdiction, specialized nanites are injected into the most dangerous criminals.
Uh-oh.
Etching a unique metallic imprint onto the individual's skull as a sort of hardwired passcode.
Particularly for criminals, so you can keep track of them.
Well, in high security areas, this wire can be read with a standard EM cyberware scanner and is used to track the prisoner within the institution.
Oh, so they always know where they are.
Yes. Several of the more paranoid megacorporations are rumored to use such bone etching as unforgeable ID and as a means of tracking or controlling the access of their employees within their securest facilities.
You truly belong to the corporation at that point, I imagine.
Well, yeah, you're allowing them to etch into your bones with nanites. That's your pass key to be able to get through some of these security doors. So that way, no one's getting through there without you. Shadowrunners can't get through the door because they can't forge the unique code that is etched literally into you. Nanites also have an impact on industry and heavy manufacturing. The biggest impact of nanotechnology on industry is the manufacturing of ultra strong and ultra light materials, as well as the fabrication of complex items as single parts. such as structures without any flaws or stress points that can be designed to a far higher tolerance. Nanites also perform security functions. Well, we already talked about that with the ID chipping through nanite technology,
You are
where
the key card.
where again you are the key card. Nanotechnology is also forging inroads into the environmental sector. Nanites are used in personal scale water purification filters to eliminate dissolved solids and unwanted bacteria.
There's just so many uses for nanites, man.
I imagine that they're also working on in heavy industry to have the nanites in case of any incidental chemical spills or oil slick problems. You just
Clean it
release
up
the
with
nanites and they clean it up.
Why do anything? That's all I can feel like is why let anyone do anything when you can just let nanites do the work and do it effectively.
Well, here's what it can't do, because it seems like it can do literally everything.
Right.
Well, here's what it can't do. Nanotech may seem amazing and it holds great potential, but it's not a miracle. It's not magic. Nanotechnology has to abide by the same rules of science as the rest of the world, which means it has to operate within the laws of physics. And while it is uniquely suited to perform some feats, such as these medical leaps, it is a poor tool for other tasks. Nanoware cannot induce gross physical changes in a human body. The individual nanites operate on a cellular level, and even collectively, they cannot directly alter the body significantly. That is not to say they can't have a major impact. I mean, this changes if you have a nanite hive implanted in you, obviously. These is just talking about the individual nanoware that's used, that's made on the cellular level. So a lot of the medical, surgical operations that you would get done, it's all an individual nanoware machine, not a like hive created working as one organism together. Each individual nanite is autonomous, and that's harder to hack.
Right. You have to hack a swarm or a nest as opposed to an individual one.
Yes, and an individual one, even if hacked, wouldn't be able to facilitate a large change on the body by itself, especially if there are other ones still in the bloodstream acting as they should. Just taking over one isn't going to do anything. You'd have to take over a swarm or get a swarm injected into the person.
Seems like it's not the easiest thing to take control over or manage.
Right. Nanotechnology's greatest strength, being its miniaturization, is also the greatest weakness. They cannot store enough energy for anything other than powering their own functions. For example, they can't alter overall body temperature enough to cook somebody from the inside.
Oh, that's good.
Their small size limits the control circuitry that can be built into them, restricting their adaptability and versatility.
Okay.
Their size also makes them vulnerable to the body's internal reactions to stress, shock, and changing environments.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how stress and anxiety interact with nanites.
It could cause them to malfunction or just break down.
Oh no.
The limits of their size places on internal control circuitry also means that external control of nanite systems must be very specific and absolute. Large and adaptable projects performed by nanites require the rapid decision-making, adaptability, and heuristic learning of a semi-autonomous nobot or even an AI. It is impossible for a human being to rig a nanite system, and no design system allows for metahuman nanite interfacing. Although a metahuman can change the programming on the nobots or the program running the nanites. The greatest limitation of all is that nanites cannot replicate themselves within the human body.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So one of your biggest fears dissuaded right here.
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, can you program nanites to just explode? Because that would be the nightmare of nightmares.
Nanite replication is very precise activity that is impossible in such a chaotic and complex environment. So they wouldn't be able to replicate inside the human body because there's too much going on. Replication would also be limited by the availability of raw materials. And since they're not bio nanites, they have no material to build more of themselves with. Plus, it would take a very long time. Even working at top speed, a nanite will take at least a week to replicate itself if all other functions are suspended.
Okay, so they're not like hyper futuristic, super self-sufficient kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And although they do make, it does make for a very fantastical idea to create a nanite kind of weapon or try to weaponize them. It's just so utterly complex that there is no effective nanite weapon.
Okay. This is one of the more reasonable parts of Shadowrun lore I'm experiencing.
See, so as long as it's rooted in physics, nanotechnology is limited in that way.
As long as it doesn't have like, because I'm trying to figure out how much that's like, how do you go from nanites to the arcology scenario with Deus?
Well, the arcology scenario with Deus is an AI. He becomes a self-aware AI, and he begins experimenting more with nanotechnology with no ethical concerns or constraints. So he can do whatever he wants and experiment however he wants. A lot of the nano hives that he builds, like I was talking about, are self-replicating nano hives, and they're just deconstructing some of the area that they're installed in to be able to replicate themselves.
So like transmuting into another hive.
Well, like the hive would be built by nanites. Like he's programming the nanites to go to a specific area. They get to like in the arcology, say they get to the food court, right? They just start deconstructing the material that's around them. So they'll start eating up like tables and chairs and stuff that's made of metal and take that and build the hive anchored to a wall somewhere.
Right.
And then from there, the nanites can make those killbots out of the surrounding material that they have a plethora of because you're in the arcology.
Yeah. So when I meant like transmuting, I mean like they're taking material and converting it into one of these hives.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just out of the material that they have. Like they can't just make it out of nothing. They can't produce it out of thin air, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So it's not like they can grab molecules and
Ta-da,
rearrange them to make something else. Yes.
It took particles of dust from the air and turned it into a hive.
Because they're at least the size of a red blood cell, they still have to use the materials that are around them. So therein lies some of their limitation as well.
You know, maybe they aren't so bad.
What, nanotechnology?
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even scared of these guys anymore.
Yeah, take that, nanotech.
Yeah, take that, you table eating, hive making.
Keep going. You got it. I'm sure you got it.
Like butt, like booty, like
guys.
Wow. Hello? Is anybody there?
This mic is no longer on. So we covered the big three that are the big names when you think of nanotechnology. But there are other companies that are dabbling in this field as well. You have good old As Technology.
Yeah, when I was thinking about controlling blood, I immediately was thinking about like blood magic.
As Technology's few specialized areas of nanotech investment are in high-end consumer goods and combat-oriented nanoware. One of the biggest movers in the nanotech industry is Genetic Q, a wholly owned biotech subsidiary of As Technology. One of the board members for As Technology believes that nanotech can alleviate his degenerating condition, and he is using his influence to secure huge amounts of funding for Genetic Q, enabling it to buy up large chunks of real estate and top-notch talent from around the world. One of the other corporations that is involved is we find Cross Applied Technologies. Many people consider Cross Biomedical the contender to watch for in the nanoware field. Cross Applied Technologies has traditionally focused on pure research, licensing its results to other corps for production. This is changing rapidly now that Cross is playing with the big boys and the larger mega corporations. Then, of course, we have MCT. Can't forget about Mitsuhama.
Why would you want to?
Right? Especially after we talked about them last time and how they're growing and growing and growing. Well, Mitsuhama's emphasis with nanotechnology is on robotics and drone industries. The company was quick to acquire samples of Deus's drones and has been successful in reverse engineering and implementing these technologies. This has allowed Mitsuhama to remain the undisputed world leader in remote piloted vehicle technologies, building the smallest and best designed vehicles on the market. And don't worry, Tyler, Sater Krupp is involved in nanotechnology as well.
Woo! I mean, it was either up front or in the background, pulling the strings.
Sater Krupp does not specialize in any one type of nanotechnology, but rather its interests are as diverse and pervasive as the corporation itself, spanning the range from industrial manufacturing to agriculture to military technology.
Why confine yourself to one pie when you can have all the pies?
And even pies that aren't pies.
Yeah, redefine pie. I got lost in this metaphor already. I'm sorry.
Sater Krupp's focus on nanotechnology is toward direct exploitation of nanotechnology in heavy machinery and industry rather than the biomedical and metahuman augmentation field. So once nanotechnology for those ultra strong yet ultra light materials. Here's one that I didn't expect to be in this group, and that is the Draco Foundation.
Were they in the will?
The Draco Foundation was created from the will.
They're the ones they're the ones who do the will.
No. I'm saying was there a thing about nanites in the will?
I don't think so. But rumors abound that the group controlling Dunkelzahn's legacy has been active in high-priced nanotech market.
Smart.
The foundation has been aggressively gathering nanotech scientists, implant specialists, and cutting-edge researchers. So they're dipping their toe into the nanotechnology world, possibly for medical research.
The more, what is it, philanthropic realm.
Right. Ares is surprisingly not very interested in nanotechnology.
But what if you made a nanite gun?
Well, that's the problem, remember, is it's hard to weaponize it. That's probably why Ares doesn't put forth a lot of interest into it.
I think they're missing out. I feel like there's an avenue for nanite guns that they could exploit. They should just get like an AI to work on it, just like...
Oh, yeah, just get an AI to do it, because that has historically proven very, very helpful.
Oh, you did say that it did change how we interacted with nanites in the sixth world.
Well, yeah, when you let a maniacal AI that has no ethical compunctions to operate on humans willy-nilly style.
I'm noticing a lot of colored language here. When we talked about Sater Krupp, it was exploiting, where I like to think enhancing or reinventing or exploring. But no, it's got to be stealing and evil.
Look, just because your favorite corporation happens to be run by a backstabbing, large, great dragon, it makes a framework. You look for the little cracks every now and then.
Agree to disagree.
I suppose. Well, this brings us to one of the great problems that comes from the use of nanites. And this is happening in the 2070s. And I, of course, am talking about good old CFD, cognitive fragmentation disorder. This is where we see the dark side of nanotechnology.
Oh, now we do.
Now we do, yes.
Oh,
Beforehand,
okay.
it was all rainbows and gumdrops, and look at us and what we're able to do in the medical field.
Yeah.
Yay!
Woo.
Most of the horrible things that we've had to suffer through in the last few generations, we no longer do because of our
Yeah.
cutting edge nanotechnology.
Wahoo.
But in the 2070s, we get cognitive fragmentation disorder. And just as a refresher, this is a personality disorder caused by nanites. The nanites overwrite the victim's personality with that of an artificial intelligence.
Back to the nightmares.
Victims of CFD refer to themselves as monads, which, while more derogatory term would be head cases, has become the popular Shadowrun nomenclature for these types of people. And we can all thank one person. Well, we can all thank a dragon for this disease. And the dragon I am referring to is Celadir.
What's a bit of a refresher on good old Celadir?
Good old Celadir. Celadir was first sighted in Wales in 2013. He then disappeared from sight until 2040, where he was sighted in the Nubian desert in Sudan. Soon afterwards, there's a knighthood that pledges loyalty to him. In 2044, he cooperates with TransNeuroNet on the construction of a brand new research facility in Wales. Throughout the 2050s, Celadir fought for control over TransNeuroNet, which resolved in the ousting of the CEO, Liam Riley. In 2072, this is where we see the first case of CFD.
Which
where
again was due to Celadir.
Well, it's because in 2072, Celadir's Albuquerque facility was hit by Shadowrunners, and this event infected some of those Shadowrunners with CFD.
And were they the first cases?
They were the first cases.
Interesting. Meddling Shadowrunners.
As they are wont to do.
Truly.
In the late 2060s and early 2070s, Celadir begins researching e-ghosts in his Albuquerque lair.
Internet ghosts?
Well, more ghost in the machine.
Oh, a metaphorical ghost.
Yeah, ghost in the machine referring to the human or human-like entities that would exist solely in the Matrix with no meat body, kind of similar to an AI. Ghosts in the machine are considered rare, but Celadir wished to research into it to try and find these roving entities that ply the Matrix. So in 2072, the Shadowrunner team raids the Albuquerque lair, and the team becomes infected with CFD and are the first known victims to encounter this disease. In 2073, there's rising suspicion around Celadir that he's hiding something. So a runner team is hired to infiltrate TransNeuroNet facility in Wales that's conducting Project Imago research. And Celadir moves his research to his Albuquerque lair after the events of that run. In 2074, the Evo Mars-based Gagarin goes offline due to a CFD outbreak. The real big hit comes in 2076, though. At a research facility in MIT&T, Celadir was helping Cerberus to create an experimental version of CFD.
Because just cause.
Just because.
Just want to see, like, hey, let's see if we can make this in a lab.
Let's see what we can find out more about it. Project Cerberus was the project that was trying to expose paranormal animals to the Matrix with the implementations of data jacks.
Oh no.
So we could have
jacks.
so we could have matrix-sized Nova possums, is what you're telling me?
I guess. I don't know
power.
why you would want to do this. I assume it's because some dragons want to experience the Matrix. And so what better way than to experiment on the lesser paranormal creatures to see if it's even possible?
Wow.
But what if you need like a matrix-sized Nova possum in order to break through a firewall? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's how that
Yummy.
works.
Okay.
It's like a physical metaphor.
Oh, I see.
Okay, but like, what about Paracritters esports?
Oh my god. The all bandit team.
Ooh, it names itself. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just reminded that my unnamed university that I went to had an esports team. Don't think they were really good, but that's just making me think that we could get a mascot, we could get a sports team, go to nationals, and then have an esports team go to worlds for whatever game is in the sixth world. Bandits are going global, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I understand.
I have grand schemes in mind.
Well, in 2076, we have the major event at the facility in MIT&T. There with an experimental version of CFD nanites to try to return Cerberus to his original body. But there was a betrayal by one of the lead researchers, and this caused the experimental CFD nanites to have both Deus and Cerberus uploaded at the same time. This creates a new AI called Sirius. While they still may have kept themselves as individuals, they were now joining as one. From there, this new body breaks free from the MIT&T facility where the experiment was being conducted and attempts to attack NeoNet towers in downtown Boston. They are immediately repelled by Celadir and crash into Fenway Park, and afterward fly north towards Salem, because the body that they were being loaded into is that of a Draco form.
Oh no.
Yeah. The next day, all of Boston is locked down by a multi-megacorp task force to prevent anyone from entering or leaving the city of Boston. The city itself gets thrown into anarchy because people think it's another Bug City event.
No, thank you.
Because many people were becoming zombie-like head cases where they were becoming infected by the CFD nanites. In the next year, the CFD sufferers announced their presence to the corporate court, naming themselves Monads, and they announced their plans for what they call Project Exodus, where they want to take all of the CFD infected into deep space and leave the solar system by the 2080s. I
Just like
believe,
launch them all into space for their own colony.
yeah, like they're going to go find their own colony. I believe that this launch off point is actually going to be from Mars. So they're collecting all of the CFD that they can find, transporting them into space to Mars, and then from Mars, they're launching themselves out of the solar system.
And then just what? Just start over by themselves.
Someplace else.
Hmm.
Yeah. In December of 2079, the Deep Space Exploration and Colonization 1 leaves the Mars base. They were right before the turn into 2080. They launched themselves from Mars into space. Here are the symptoms for CFD. Nanites that are used for non-organic use, such as those in nanoforges for 3D printing, often fail as the nanites are reprogrammed. Nanites inside a metahuman will attempt to infect and reprogram or just destroy uninfected nanites. The nanites are reprogrammed to also reproduce by replicator nanites, which are only found inside victims of CFD.
Oh, so it's like a super virus.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay, so they can't usually make their own, right?
Uh-huh.
But then how are they able to
These
do that in the body?
these are specially created. They are called soft nanites that use natural organic material found in the body.
No. Oh hell no.
Hard nanites will compel the host to eat non-organic materials such as metal or sand to give the hard nanites material to build new hard nanites.
So if you like are unknowingly infected with CFD, like you could be like, I just really want to eat a handful of screws right now.
Yeah. Oh man,
Eesh.
the sand tastes delicious.
No.
The host will often suffer from lapse in memory or blackouts. During these lapses, the AI personality often takes over the host and works on furthering their own agenda.
Taking over the world. Oh.
Sometimes the two personalities will not be aware of each other's existence.
Hey, how's it going? Just imagining the meeting in your body.
Right? Here's another fun part. If a host is infected with nanites containing a different AI personality, the different nanites will attempt to fight each other for control of the host.
The question is like, are you aware of this?
The host?
Yeah.
No.
Eesh.
You just black out. And then you could just technically black out permanently as the AI personality takes dominance. Woohoo, right?
Yep. I continue to find more nightmares in Shadowrun, as it turns out.
You will be happy to know that the infected, meaning the ghoul population, people with HMHVV, are immune to CFD.
Huh?
Yeah.
So if you get ghoulified, you can't get CFD?
Yeah, you can't get CFD.
I got a plan. You'll never take me machines.
And then those that are infected with CFD are more resistant to HMHVV. And then subjects that are exposed to both at the same time die from the exposure.
Oh, there's not a may die or may experience discomfort. You just die.
You're just dead.
But that's like that's assuming you have neither.
Yeah, you're starting with neither.
And then you contract both at the same time. You're just dead.
Yeah, which means that was most likely performed in some kind of corporate research lab to find that out.
But if you get one, you're way less likely to get the other.
Yes.
Okay.
So become a vampire. Don't lose your mind to AI.
You know, I can get behind that.
I'm not sure why, but I guess it has something to do with the way that the HMHVV virus, rewrites your genetic code.
And there can only be one thing that's overwriting.
It's like Highlander rules.
There can only be one super ultra omega replace your body virus.
Yeah. Like I see again, seeing the pros of having nanites and why nanites are important to the sixth world, and then also the very dark side of nanites and what's possible.
I mean, the thing that's nice, at least with nanites, is it doesn't seem like the horrible possible outcome is as rampant as it is with some other things in Shadowrun.
How do you mean?
Like the worst case scenario stuff that has come up apart from nanites so far was all the stuff with the arcology. But the solution to a lot of those problems is don't go in the fucking arcology.
The major solution to that problem was don't create rogue AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that easy.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's that
But like
simple.
but like the way that it can be used for like medical application and like other stuff just in terms of like general living,
Mhm.
it seems like more of a positive than it is a negative.
Oh yeah, by and large, I would say you're getting more of a positive from nanite technology existing,
Right.
because not only in the medical field, but look at the leaps and bounds and all the cool stuff that you get in the Shadowrun setting is thanks to nanite technology being able to interact with your nerves and conduct those electrical impulses. So you could have cyber limbs, or you could have skill wire to where you can just plug a chip into your head and now suddenly you know how to fly a helicopter.
Huh. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, skill wire is an amazing piece of tech. You just have to have a chip jack and the skill wire implanted in your body, and so it
Download a
almost,
skill.
yeah, it basically downloads the skill, and then you do it almost by muscle memory based off the rating of the chip that you slotted. So you could go from not knowing how to fire a gun to being an expert marksman. The possibilities.
Yeah, I totally can see that being weaponized for people that, I don't know, are programmed with something and they're not aware of it, and all of a sudden they're watching a show that they love that they haven't seen in a couple of years, and all of a sudden they're a sleeper agent and they wake up and they just destroy everything, and that's definitely not a thing that can happen.
That's never happened before. What are you talking about? That definitely isn't the plot to some movies.
Hmm. Definitely haven't experienced that in movies. Definitely haven't experienced that in Shadowrun. Definitely can't experience that ever.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Don't know what you're talking about. Here, step into my parlor.
Oh god.
That is what I have for you on nanites and how they are integral to the sixth world. So they can't be hacked directly, which is the bonus part. You have to get to the no machine, the AI, or the no bot that is operating the program to make any kind of significant changes to what the nanites normally do.
Yeah, I'm glad there's limitations to fulfilling my worst body horror fear.
Yeah, if they worked straight like replicators, then it would be far more frightening. And with the CFD virus, they kind of get to that level where they can be self-replicating as long as they can convince the host to ingest the material that they need. So there still are limitations, but by the 2080s, it is possible.
As always, stay vigilant.
Keep your eyes open in the shadows. But I don't know. Knowing that, does that scare either of you off from ever wanting to have any type of cyberware?
I mean,
Knowing,
my character already has cyberware, so I think it's too late for that. But
well, I mean, if we ever progress to this,
oh, if we got to that point,
yeah, if we ever get to this point in the actual real world, because they are messing around with nanite technology right now.
I mean, my personal stance and view on that has always been that I would take it as like a reaction to something. Like if I got in like a accident and
Mhm.
like I needed some type of nanite implementation or I was gonna die,
Mhm.
like that would be something that I would go into, but I don't know. I don't personally, I don't think I would ever go into it from like a cosmetic standpoint,
But cyber eyes.
which are cool, but not worth the risk.
See, I thought Cyber would be really cool, but then uh, with the with the rise of technomancers and wireless decking, I would be worried that somebody could hijack my vision.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's just too frightening a thing to contemplate. I'm pretty sure there's a movie that is all about vision being hijacked. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Anonymous. I don't remember the name of it, but that's the whole premise where their sight is being altered because everybody has like a like cybernetic eyes in the future.
Ooh.
But that is a thing too. We might see it as, you know, invasive or taboo now just because it's not so prevalent.
Not the norm.
Yeah, as technology progresses and it becomes more mainstream and more day to day, we as humans are more apt to just accept it.
Right.
With my great example being cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Beforehand, nobody really had cell phones, and if you did, they were a brick that you carried around. And now look what they've become. They're not even cell phones anymore. They're personal pocket computers.
And watches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in again in the Shadowrun correlation, and a smartphone is a basic pocket secretary.
So it's
Your
a matter of time.
your watches, your eye watches would be the wrist phones that you could get, you know.
Yeah.
So Shadowrun mirroring the technology once more. It makes me wonder, is that nanite technology gonna be on the rise? Are we gonna see it? And it's gonna be, if we do see it, it's definitely gonna be introduced through the medical field, and it's definitely gonna be portrayed as a positive because I would see it as they would integrate it into showcasing the use of the very first cyber limbs for people that are like missing legs or missing arms.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I see it coming in.
It's a matter of time.
And then after a few years, once people are, you know, okay with it, then it'll be the whole, now you can get elective surgery to get your own cyber lift.
Right.
Exactly. How long before we start modding ourselves?
Like as soon as it's available. let's be real, man. Like as soon as applicable.
Yeah, I could see most people
People
jumping on it.
get impulse tattoos. You can get an impulse cyber limb.
Well, here's the other fun part about the sixth world and nanotechnology as well. Technically, in the sixth world, you can get electus, which use nanite technology in the tattooing process to create animated tattoos.
Okay, that's sick. That is so cool. Oh, that's so dope.
So, yeah, there you go. Technically, it would just be nanites induced into your dermal layer of your skin, but then it there has an action scene or lights up or does something like that.
Dang, that is too cool.
Something to think about for your next character.
Uh-huh.
So you can get those electus or tattoos and everything in the sixth world. They don't cost you essence.
Oh my gosh, best of both worlds.
Right? How about
Come
that?
on.
Let's do
Come
it.
on. Oh, I could be like a neon sign.
Advertising. Here we go.
Yeah, buy space on my chest.
And then
I
think
think
of
I would think it would be cool in reference to like the yaks.
Oh,
Like yeah,
wow.
because they're
Yes.
getting their back
Yes.
tattoos that they're just like big fucking like light up moving
That's what I was
portraiture.
thinking. Like
Yeah,
a dragon that's like going around your arm.
yeah.
Coiling
Like, or the
dragons.
Oni face that's like growling. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Or the Oni
all right,
face
I'm
that's
back
just
in.
like crying purple smoke or something.
We
Oh,
talked him into it. We talked him back.
We did
Imagine,
it doesn't take a lot.
imagine if you had a Nova Possum tattoo that was like always propelling itself. Like,
Oh my gosh, he just keeps running, and I have a tough day, and I just look at my Nova Possum tattoo, and he's just running. He's just doing his dangest.
Every once in a while, scrolling underneath it, it just says "Eat trash, be free."
yeah.
I have never been more back in. I almost went all the way through.
He was in, he was interested, he was out, he was way out, he's back in. I'm glad that we can find these opportunities to pull you back in and show you how it would be very easily applicable to our society and how we succumb to it very easily because it would be the new fad, you know? It's the new fad. It's exciting. I gotta have
And then
it.
you get your vintage when you get tattoos that aren't tattoos.
Oh yeah, here are my vintage tattoos.
Classic.
Real ink.
Exactly.
Real ink.
None of that fake stuff. I don't know. When you get into the cosmetic application of it, there's a lot. Being able to change your skin color whenever you want, change your eye color whenever you want, just by thinking about it. Kind of crazy.
Let's do it.
Yeah. It take things to a whole different level. Because then you can have people wanting to be obscene colors like, my skin is just bright orange today.
My Oompa Loompa dreams are now a reality.
Yes. Where are my coiling Willy Wonka tattoos down my arm?
I could just like change. I will become the living mood ring.
you get a jacked Oompa Loompa. It's
So
working out. It's just skin's turn orange, green hair, pumping iron, and rotating down his arms is Oompa Loompa. Jeez. Well, do you guys have anything else to add to the idea of nanotechnology, or anything that you would do with that technology that we haven't already talked about?
Too many possibilities.
There's a lot. I mean, it's still limited, like they said, but well, let's see for more information, or to let us know if you got those Easter eggs early on in the podcast where we dropped them, because there were a few. You'll have to join us on our Discord and let us know. Or even better, if you want to keep us running and help us keep the lights on so we can keep bringing you these sweet, delicious lore conversations, you can join us on Patreon over at patreon.com/critical_hits. And for just 5 new yen a month, chummer, you get all the bells and whistles of the peering into the back room. You'll get notifications on upcoming art projects that we're working on, news about the shows, both Sinless and Shadowrunnin On Empty. You'll get access to the Worm Talks, and you'll get shouted out at the end of every Sinless episode. And we are back in the swing for season 2. So be on the lookout for it. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. It's listeners like you that keep us coming back to want us to deliver this sweet, delicious knowledge of nuggets. And how many N words can I fit in here?
Yep,
With
keep going.
nanites and
I don't want to point out that knowledge starts with a K, but keep going. Okay.
It's got
alliteration.
It's got an N in it. But nanite nuggets, Neo is the one.
Nanite
Flawless.
nuggets nourishing your neural receptors. Network. There you
network.
go. There we
Neural
go.
Network. There we go. Woo!
Flawless dismount.
Flawless. Nailed it. All right, guys.
Got in one.
In one. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary materials used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to Critical Hits to use such names, logos, artwork, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Critical Hits in any official capacity whatsoever.